Better health while aging often hides in the fat you can't even see in a mirror. Healthy aging after 60 asks something uncomfortable of us. Stop managing your appearance and start managing what's actually happening beneath it.
Better health while aging often hides in the fat you can't even see in a mirror. Somewhere beneath an ordinary waistline, a more dangerous kind of fat may be quietly wrapping itself around organs that never asked for the company. Tonight, we talk about the difference between the fat that worries us and the fat that should. I know a man, let's call him the man who measured his life in belt loops, who spent 30 years convinced his health was fine because his weight wasn't that bad. 73, still sturdy looking, still able to carry the groceries in one trip. But at his last checkup, the doctor pointed not at his belly, but at a number on a screen. Visceral fat, the kind wrapped around the liver, the pancreas, the organs doing the invisible labor of keeping him alive. He'd been so focused on what the mirror showed him that he never once considered what it was hiding. Not all fat behaves the same way. Subcutaneous fat, the kind you can pinch at your waist or your arms, is largely cosmetic, a visible nuisance more than a threat. Visceral fat is different. It nestles deep in the abdominal cavity, wrapping around your liver, pancreas, and intestines, and it behaves almost like an organ of its own, releasing inflammatory compounds directly into your bloodstream, disrupting insulin sensitivity, quietly raising cardiovascular risk. Two people can weigh the same and carry entirely different amounts of this hidden fat. Half an avocado a day has been studied for its effect on exactly this distinction. Rich in monounsaturated fat and soluble fiber, it appears to shift the body's fat distribution, not by melting fat away everywhere equally, but by specifically discouraging the accumulation of visceral fat, the kind you cannot see and cannot pinch. Researchers believe the fiber slows the release of sugar into the bloodstream, lowering the insulin spikes that tend to drive visceral storage, while the monounsaturated fat itself appears to influence how the body partitions incoming energy. Half an avocado, most days of the week. Not the whole fruit. Half, roughly, is where the studied benefit sits, without excess calories undoing the gain. Sliced onto toast with a pinch of salt, mashed into a simple dressing, cubed into a salad at lunch. It doesn't need to be dramatic or elaborate. Consistency across weeks and months is what moves the needle here, not any single meal. But notice what really shifted for that man at the checkup. It wasn't just a number on a screen. It was the humbling realization that he'd spent decades measuring his health by what strangers could see. His belt size, his posture in photographs, while ignoring what actually determined how many more years he'd have at those Sunday tables. Healthy aging after 60 asks something uncomfortable of us. Stop managing your appearance and start managing what's actually happening beneath it. The mirror was never going to tell him the truth. His body was, if he'd only learned to ask the right question. Not all fat is equal. Visceral fat, wrapped around your organs, drives far more risk than the fat you can see and pinch. Half an avocado daily, through fiber and monounsaturated fat, appears to specifically discourage that hidden accumulation. But the real lesson runs deeper than nutrition. It's about measuring your health by what's true, not by what's visible. This is a personal perspective and general wellness information, not medical advice. Visceral fat and metabolic health should be assessed by your physician. Please consult your doctor before making dietary changes, especially if you manage diabetes or cardiovascular conditions. Share this with someone who's been measuring their health by their belt loops. Follow @Art of Aging podcast for more honest wisdom on healthy aging after 60.